This is Dates and Mates with your host, Damona Hoffman.
Hey, lovers. Welcome to Dates and Mates, your source for information about how to navigate those tricky subjects that come up with modern love. This is where we make modern love simple for you. I'm your host, certified dating coach Damona Hoffman, and this is an important time for singles. You know, cuffing season is in full effect, as we addressed last week. And for those in relationships, maybe newly cuffed people, you have the pressure of the holiday season coming up, and you're wondering, what do I do with my new boo? Do I bring them home for the holidays? Do I go to their house for the holidays? How do we create our own holiday traditions? So if you're stressed out this holiday season about your relationship status, have no fear, because we will help you navigate through and make it to the other side so that you'll start the new year and get on to Valentine's Day with your relationship still intact. I'm always thinking ahead, Producer Thomas.
As we all know.
Because it's like, okay, it's Thanksgiving, and then basically it's Christmas or Hanukkah. And
Well, it already feels like Christmas, but with all the songs in the stores now and everything,
I
they
know.
keep pushing it up. November 1st, it's Christmas.
Yeah, they lit the big
Yeah.
Christmas tree at the mall down the street already. I'm like, oh my gosh. Which basically means it's New Year's resolution time.
Yeah.
And then it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So basically it's Valentine's
It's
Day,
basically
everybody.
Valentine's Day.
So we're going to catch you up. But we're also going to be talking about some provocative topics today, like the rise of the sugar baby. We'll also discuss dating rules that need to die in modern love. And also, we'll talk about how dating apps may be affecting the STD or STI rate, depending on how sophisticated you are and which title you like to use. And we have some new Techspert app questions in Technically Dating, including what to say to get a guy's attention when you're hopelessly awkward. Her words, not mine. This came from one of our listener questions. And we'll discuss how to handle a suspicious boyfriend who is always checking up on you. My words, not hers, because of his behavior. I'm calling him suspicious. We'll be covering that in a little bit. Plus, as always, I have a special guest co-host in studio with me today. I have Matchmaker Jessica Fass of Fast Pass to Love. Let me tell you a little bit about this lady, because I'm so pumped for her to join us. She's been my friend in love coaching for a long time. She's originally from LA. She also shares an alma mater with producer Thomas.
Chapman University. Panther Pride.
Can you do the fight song or something now?
Ooh.
Not that kind of show.
Yeah, not
Well, Jessica worked in Hollywood, like me, for several years before becoming a matchmaker. And though her specialty is in matching Jewish people worldwide, she's helped people everywhere from all walks of life. And she is so good at it that she was awarded Best New Dating Personality at the 2016 U.S. Dating Awards. And now we're giving her the award of being in studio with us today on Dates and Mates. Please give big smooches to Jessica Fass. How do you like that award?
I love that award, and I love the smooches. I love them. I hear them when I listen to your show.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean the smooches, because you are really one of the top people in this industry. And, you know, sometimes matchmaking ain't easy, right?
No, it is not. You hear more negative than the positive. When they're happy, they disappear on you of it, and you have to go fishing and say, "Hey, are you still in that relationship?" "Oh yeah, I am, and I'm super happy." I'm like, "Thanks for telling me."
Yeah, right?
But then when I get the good news, it makes everything worth it.
What would possess someone to go into the field of matchmaking, Jessica?
Long story, Damona, but Patty Stanger, of course, Millionaire Matchmaker, she put it on the map. I wouldn't know that it was an industry that you can get paid for if it wasn't for that show. And when I was living in Tel Aviv, Israel, I lived there for 5 years, and I started matching friends that I met out at international events. Actually, they were for me to meet someone myself, and for the internationals and Israelis to meet and fall in love and have Jewish babies and stay in the country. So I started meeting new friends there, female friends, and I had a lot of Israeli male friends, and I started putting them together, and lo and behold, some of the matches stuck, and I was like, wow, maybe I have the Patty Stanger millionaire matchmaker gene in me. But I said, is this a real profession? So I go online, I Google it. First, yeah, Google. Tells
I
me
can
if
just
it's a real
picture you like
Seriously.
Googling, is matchmaking a real profession?
I wrote matchmaking industry. That's what I wrote. And the first search result was actually the Matchmaking Institute, which I think, Damona, you know a lot of people, matchmakers that went there too. And the founder of it was like one of even Patty Stanger's original co-workers in the industry, Lisa Clampett. I think they worked together at Great Expectations or one of the companies. Don't quote me, but Patty worked at Great Expectations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Lisa Clampett saw the need that there was no regulation in the industry, no school for it. So she went out and got certified by the New York Board of Education. So they're the only matchmaking certification program that's certified in that way. So I started doing the online course from Tel Aviv at the same time, working day jobs in content writing for startups there. And at night, I met somebody new at a cafe every single night of the week. And I started with 50 shekels, such a funny currency to say out loud, but it's the real currency, shekels. And that's like the equivalent of $10. The guy that paid me 50 shekels and is married to this day. I was just in Israel, just got back about a week ago, and he's married to an Israeli-Swedish girl. He's French. They have an adorable baby. That makes everything worthwhile. So started with him and kept going, and now I'm in the standard matchmaking bracket with prices. Matchmaking ranges from like about $3,000 up to the top matchmakers $25,000. And it's very lucrative, but it's also very challenging. And so we definitely deserve it.
You have to deal with everybody's crazy expectations of like, well, he better be, first of all, because you specialize in Jewish matchmaking, he's got to be Jewish. He has to be 6 feet tall or taller. He has to make $200,000 a year. He has to live within 3 miles of my house, and like all of this list just goes
list. Yeah, it was a bit easier at the beginning when it was kind of like they paid for date coaching and the chance of a match, and now when it's like heavy duty contracts that I'm in a contract that I owe you 6 matches or unlimited matches for a year, and so I won't take a client on unless we go through their laundry list, their wish list of deal breakers and must-haves, and we get it down. The Matchmaking Institute taught me this, that you really can't have more than 5 or it's not a reasonable client, and either charge way more or say, I can't help you, I can refer you to a colleague of mine, and then maybe when 2 matchmakers tell you that you're being a bit crazy in your demands, it kind of brings you down, I always say if one person says something about you, I tell this to the clients when they go on a date too. It may be just an opinion. And then 2 people say it, and then 3 people say the same thing about you. You might have a problem. You might need to adjust your expectations. You might need to work on yourself, self-development therapy.
Look at the man in the mirror. That's really interesting. I never really thought about asking.
More than 5 things. It's kind of crazy.
So you give people feedback on the dates after they've gone on the date. You call the person they went out with, and you're like, okay, how bad was it? I mean, how good was it?
I start positive. We start positive. How good was it? And with a big smile. And first they do a feedback form that's like really detailed. I also got the template from the Matchmaking Institute. If there was no Matchmaking Institute, honestly, I don't know if I would have had the confidence to go out and do it because it gives you a whole community. I'm in like a private Facebook mastermind. I believe it's like it's close to 1,000 matchmakers in there from all over the world. And we bounce ideas off each other because it can be such a subjective industry. Like, am I saying the right thing? Am I being fair? Did I not do right by the client? So I came up with the feedback form with their help, the Matchmaking Institute, their template. They fill out this really thorough form, and I will not get on the phone with them till they fill it out because it's like doing your homework. And
that's your client.
Yeah, both, and the match too. And the match knows that also whether it's a male or female match, that I have grounds to not set them up again if they don't do the form. So I'm kind of like the babysitter, like, that you don't, or the mother, you don't want to disappoint me because I have the potential to set you up again or not. If you just met through online dating or through life, you could go someone. You don't have the accountability. That's the thing.
I like
accountability partner. So they do the form, and I also won't get on the phone with them before because they can analyze it, and I make them check: was it physical attractiveness? Was it values? Was it sense of humor? Was it table manners? And then I can say, okay, look, it was only table manners in this. You were attracted physically.
Minor.
Yeah, exactly. I can say
that's really good because I feel like people should be evaluating dates like that on their own anyway, and that's a lot of what I do with coaching is teaching people how to think strategically in dating, because I feel like everyone's just expecting magic butterflies, and then when you're not putting any kind of process around it, when you don't get those butterflies, you get really disappointed. But with the holidays coming up, let's talk to the folks now who have been matched, and whether they met through a matchmaker or through a dating site or app or somewhere else. Let's talk about how they can navigate this holiday season. And one thing, since you do specialize in matching people of the same religious background, I really wonder, even being among the same background, you have different patterns and different ways to celebrate that may differ from family to family. So is there any advice you could give on how to prepare yourself if you're going to a significant other's house for the first time? How do you really set yourself up for success and manage your expectations of how it's going to go? Because it might be different from your own family.
It's 100%. So you're talking about are we talking about just in the Jewish faith and the different ways, or anybody, like any faith, any culture?
I would say any faith,
Okay.
any culture.
Yeah, I think it can be very challenging. I think you should talk to your partner before and say, what are your family's traditions? Because
Traditions, that was the word I was looking for.
And 'cause- there we go.
Don't laugh at me,
Sometimes we
producer
just lose a
Thomas.
word. So if you're Catholic and your partner is like just of the Christian denomination but not Catholic, it can be weird for because I actually went to Catholic school, so I was a Jew in a Catholic elementary and high school, so
that's
I have lots
interesting.
of perspective. Yeah, so it was a very good school. It was private. It was college prep, so I went there. So if you're just Christian background but you're not Catholic and you walk into a Catholic home, it may be a lot for you. Even in Jewish too, some people, they're called modern Orthodox. It's like way more religious, and then they're secular. So that can, even though you're the same religion, it can be very strikingly different.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, if you're a Jew going into a Catholic's home or a Christian going into Muslim's home, I mean, that's like a whole nother can of worms. I've never dealt with that in my career yet. I know other matchmakers who have. So I think if you're inviting that person home for the holidays and you are of different faiths and you're actually practicing, you should definitely talk about, okay, my mother's a bit like this. She's going to get offended if you don't do this. How do you feel about if we're going to cross ourselves before we eat? Because if the person doesn't want to do it, the partner coming in, maybe you can tell your parents in advance, hey, Sam is not going to feel comfortable doing that. Talk about it before. Just don't go in blindly. That's my biggest tip.
Yeah, talking about things can really make a lot of problems go away.
Yeah,
can't they?
Fascinating.
communication. Yeah,
It's fascinating.
Communication.
But also, I like to think of it as setting your partner up for success. Because if you don't talk about it, like I was talking with someone a while ago who was saying, well, I like to just see how they fit in. And I'm like, you're kind of sabotaging, your chance at success here. And you want to give your partner all the tools. Look at
There you go.
we're finished.
each other's
I know.
each
I'm like,
other's
you complete me.
sentences.
Wow. The tools to be successful, but it's still nerve-wracking to meet the parents. I can remember the first time I met my husband's mom,
I
and
want to
I
hear
was.
that.
It's not really a story. I just was really nervous because I thought it's funny. I thought she was really proper based on pictures and random impressions that I got based on not that much information. And I was really nervous because I'm not really that proper. And I was like, this isn't going to go well. I don't know. Like, how do I appear more
You're
proper?
a classy lady, Damona.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
you definitely
Thank you.
are.
I
You're pretty
brought
in
a-
pink.
I brought my classiest gear and my pearl earrings and everything. Turns out she's not like that at all. But I'm sure there are people that are biting their nails right now wondering, how do I make a good first impression on the parents? Are there universal things that you can do that parents always are like, oh, she's such a sweetheart, or what a nice boy?
For sure. I'm so lucky that I never had problems with meeting the parents. Like, they were always really cool, laid-back parents that I met, and also the person I was dating had said really good things about me before, so I got really lucky. There are definitely more kind of proper, hardcore parents. They come in with a scowl. My boyfriend paired me to meet his dad, who is a Holocaust survivor. So he always says, he told my boyfriend, did the teacher try to shoot you today? Okay, no, you had a good day. Like that's how he was in the household.
That's such a Jewish thing
Yes,
too.
yes.
It's like, we have all these sayings about like, if you didn't have something terrible happen, then you're doing all right.
Yeah, exactly. So he
Yeah.
really puts things in perspective.
Sure,
But
it does though.
he warned me, that he's grumpy on the exterior, but he's such a good soul, and so he's like, don't think that he doesn't like you. So that was really helpful to get that feedback. And then his mother loves everybody, so it's really great. They balanced each other out. But yeah, what was the original question again? About what you can do to impress them.
Yes.
Bring flowers. All my boyfriends, when they brought flowers, it's great for the mother.
Moms love
or
flowers.
Or a bottle of wine. Just bring something, especially in
But
June.
not if they're recovering
Yeah,
alcoholic.
no.
Make sure you ask that question.
And get their favorite juice or sparkling Martinelli's. I love that.
Everyone loves a Martinelli.
It's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, just bring something. It's funny, in the Jewish people always say, "Oh, you don't need to bring something," but that means bring
That
something.
means bring
you know?
something. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
be able to read between the lines,
Yeah.
and hopefully your partner can help you
Or
navigate.
box chocolates too. Just bring something.
Everyone loves chocolate
Because it just shows that you're a generous person and you put some thought in. So I don't care what you bring, like just bring something.
it's a peace offering.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I love your perspective on things, and we have to give our perspective on the dating dish. So let's do it,
Dee's dating dish.
y'all. Sugar babies are on the rise. I don't know if you've read the statistics, but I found this article in IdahoStatesman.com that said, due to the growing number of student loans, the student loan debt is insane right now. And a lot of these websites that are for sugar babies to meet sugar daddies, they're actually targeting students and saying, hey, this is a way for you to pay for your education. You can meet a nice man who has a lot of money, maybe travel with him, maybe just be on his arm for some parties, maybe have sex with him. I don't know. What you do is your business, but you can get your loans paid off for free. There were 2.5 million sugar babies identified as students in 2016, and some people are worried because sugar baby sites aren't really regulated like some other industries of like dancing or even, some of the camming and other sex work. And so a lot of people are worried that these girls are thinking that this is a good route to go, but they're really setting themselves up for failure. Jessica Fass.
I can't even. I can't even believe that these sites exist now. And I read the article, but is it that they're only entitled to be their companion until their loans are paid off, or they're
everyone? Well, it's like seekingarrangement.com is one of the ones that is targeting students. So you can make whatever arrangement you want, and you can set the boundaries. Like there was one woman in the article who said, I will not have sex with a guy, period. I will be your companion, but that's it. And if you proposition me, then that's the end of the conversation. And there's even been sites before, like there was one called Miss Travel for women that wanted to travel, and I'm sure it comes with a stipend as well. And so they could just get somebody that was traveling who had a lot of money to take them along, and they get to be the cute girl in the bikini. I mean, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and you guys know I tend to walk the liberal line. I don't think it's such a bad idea. And I have a confession to make, you guys. I used to go sugar daddy shopping with my friend. We would go down to the Casa del Mar.
really.
Yeah. Back when I was single, of course. Not right now. We would go down to the Casa del Mar, which is like a fancy hotel right on the ocean. And so we would joke that we were going to go hunting for sugar daddies. And so we'd sit in this hotel thinking, oh, well, businessmen might be coming through and want to talk. I think I looked too young, maybe, because I was like in my early 20s. I don't know, but I never found a sugar daddy, and I was actually kind of disappointed by that. I was really hoping it might come through for me because I had student loans.
But you didn't want to marry him. You wanted the arrangement.
I don't know if he was
Maybe.
cute.
Okay, all right.
I was open to that. But, well, I mean, I got one now, but
Yeah.
he was broke when I met him. So,
Then
you know.
you fell in love for a true love then, because if you
I
were
did.
with him,
He
even
was
if it was
super broke. Super broke.
Were you
Yeah.
the sugar mama?
Actually, I was.
the beginning.
Actually, that created a little bit of stress in the relationship because when we first met, I made like double what he made.
Wow, that
And
is really interesting because that doesn't
Yeah.
always. Those relationships don't always last.
Yeah, and well, because I had to not force him into trying to do the things that I wanted to do on my budget because it would make him uncomfortable if he was stretched beyond his comfort zone, and it would not be good for him if he could not participate in the things that I was doing. Like, I'm going to go to Cancun with my girlfriend. See ya, peace. That's just not really building a relationship. So I had to just kind of manage my expectations, and I had faith that he would not be broke forever.
That is a good story, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I would have done seekingarrangement.com or one of these others, like beautifulmeetrich.com or whatever site.
And do they have to sign a contract with the site or something, or it's just
it's
just a
an
dating
open
website
site
to meet, and then they make their own arrangement?
There's a site for everything. I was watching Lisa Ling's show the other day. We were talking about, I think she did one about sugar babies. She's also done one about camming, where guys will like send presents to these women that they're feeling like they're having cyber relationships with.
That's what it's called now, camming?
Well, they basically strip on camera, but like webcam stripping. But then they have like side chats and things where they feel like they have a relationship, and then they're like, I have an Amazon wish list, and you can send me these things. Okay, so that aside, Lisa Ling is on the pulse of everything.
Got into the wrong industry.
Lisa Ling was talking about, this week it was polyamory sites. And that you can find someone that wants to be a third in your marriage on a site. So you can find anything out there.
That's true.
But I say to the sugar babies, like, go get it, girl. Just as long as you're really protecting yourself and you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're in danger too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I would like get on a plane with some rando that I met on the site, like without really knowing him.
Yeah. You know what's funny is if I was in college again and like had a friend that was doing it, I'd probably be judgmental of her. But like when we're talking about people like a third party, like we don't know them, we're like, go get it. But then if it was like your friend, you might be like, and you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but my friend and I did it. I mean, we didn't. We were not successful at it.
You did try to do it. Yeah.
I feel like such a failure. I feel like being a sugar
No, you got
baby.
two beautiful kids and a loving husband. You won.
Thank you. Well, I want other people to win at dating too, and there are some new rules that we really got to put down because dating it's not your mama's dating.
No, it's
I
not
mean,
the
it's
way
my
our
mama's dating now because she's single. But
oh, wow.
It's not.
You have
It's
to
not.
coach her. You have to coach her in the modern ways.
Honey, please. My toughest client.
Yeah, exactly.
She's probably listening right
Mom
now
is
like,
the toughest client.
Damn you. But things really have shifted. And,
They have.
with dating apps and just the speed of communication and so many things have written new rules on dating. And so Elle.com, Australia, had a really interesting article about the new rules that you don't need, the rules you don't need to follow
Yes.
anymore.
This is
okay?
interesting.
So I'm just going to rattle them off and then we can dissect the ones that you disagree with maybe. So the first one, they say, get over the fact that the man needs to make the first move. Number 2, the man should pay. By the way, this article was written by Tinder, so
Yeah, it's so
just
funny.
keep
I
that
saw
in
that.
mind. It's got the Tinder spin on it. Number 3, that you can't have sex on the first date. They're saying that's an old rule. Get rid of it. Number 4, you shouldn't wait too long to have sex either. Okay, you're talking out of both sides of their mouth, but that's fine. Number 5, you need to play hard to get. Girls, stop doing that. That's what they're saying. And they said, number 6, you shouldn't be asking, what are we, is antiquated. We have a right to know where we stand. So which of these dating rules do you feel like is the most important for people to embrace, to let go of so that we can move into modern love in the right way?
Ugh, Damona, this was so interesting when I read this article. I could talk forever about all of these because
you have about 2 minutes.
I know, right? So I knew you were going to say that. So I definitely believe that the woman can make the first move.
Especially on a dating app, right?
Yeah, because we're bombarded. There's too many choices. I always, not always. I wrote to people a lot first when I saw someone I liked and they hadn't messaged me because they could be not looking at the app for several days. They could be chatting with a few people.
Yeah.
They could maybe be dating someone already, but I'm the right one. So
You're dealing with the
have
algorithm,
you have
right?
to initiate on the dating app. And if you say something unique like, "Oh, I saw you also my favorite movie, Back to the Future. I saw you also love Back to the Future." You quote a line, that tugs at the heartstrings. That's something nostalgic from child. Is it your
I
favorite
love
movie?
Back to the Future too.
I love it. Love it. Love it. It
I
has
was
the perfect
just talking to
3-act
my
structure.
kids about it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Agreed. Sorry, I
Okay.
was going to go on a tangent, but
Yeah,
we don't have time. For
I know.
tangents, unfortunately.
So I
Sorry.
definitely believe the girl, and then also like I coach girls even how to like wing women themselves. If you're at the bar and you're like, oh dang it, they don't have Coke Zero or like some kind of like funny drink that you're obsessed with, or like this kind of pineapple juice to mix with my vodka, and then just talk to the person next to you and start going on like a little tangent about it. It's like cute, funny. That's just like, it's like dropping the handkerchief. Matthew Hussey says this: drop the handkerchief for the guy, and then he picks it up, and then he needs to pursue a bit.
Right.
So you can make a move, because men are so shy and scared these days, and
I know.
they're scared of their own shadows sometimes, because they get rejected so much. And
Rightfully so. I'll talk about that a little bit later.
so that's one. And then it's funny, the sex on a first date. Yes, I have heard those stories that you had sex on the first date and it led to marriage. Do I believe it's like the best? I still believe that maybe not the first date, like the third, okay.
That was the one that really got under my skin in this article, because they're like, we've been studying and reading dating books, and it said that you should wait 5, 6, 7 dates, and we think that's old fashioned. And I'm like, oh, but I say in my dating book, 5 dates, just because it's not that a man will lose respect for you, and that's what the article is saying. Men won't lose respect for you on the first date. It's that you haven't given yourself time for the connection to develop. And once you have sex, that anticipation of that moment is gone. The magic and the drive to see what's next is just poof.
Completely agree. And also, you might start the relationship just based on lust and that you have good sex, and you might stay with that person. Actually, you didn't have common values. You didn't have. I've heard these stories. Like, they had sex on the first date. It was great for like a year, and it's like, oh wow, we're not really the right match, but we stayed together because the passion was good. So you'll end up getting into a relationship just because of the passion. Now, if you wait a few dates, you'll know that person as a person. You'll have peeled off some layers and see if there's like a real connection. Then the sex will be even better. So that's. I agree with the way
That's
what
why
you said,
like
Anne.
you. You're so smart. That is exactly the point that I didn't make, that I should have made, but you made it, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing we have to talk about in this one is playing hard to get, and I think that's related to the what are we questions. Like, please, let's stop playing it too cool. Everybody's playing it so cool, nobody knows what the F is going on anymore, right?
Completely.
So let's just talk, like we said earlier. Let's just talk.
I have a girlfriend that always, from the beginning, but sometimes I think it's too much. Like, what are we like after like 2 dates? Like,
too soon.
You want to go out with me or forget it? And you can't. There's a balance. You can't yell at someone and say, what are we? And you better decide right now.
No, but like some people get like 6 months into it and they say, Damona, I
that's
don't really
wrong.
know what's going on. I'm like,
Ask.
No,
I don't know either.
That's
Why you spent
ridiculous.
6 months with this
that's
person
the
you don't know.
situationship that you always talk about. Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of situationships,
good.
turns out dating apps lead to some situationships and casual relationships and seeking arrangement ships and a lot of sex. Basically, a lot of sex. So there was an article in Vox.com that reported on some new statistics, some new data that's showing a dramatic spike in STDs, and they're tracking it all down to Tinder, Grindr, OkCupid, and these dating apps for leading to high-risk sexual encounters. I don't know. I kind of feel like don't hate the playa, hate the game. Can we talk about just safe sex? I don't think it's fair to point the finger at dating apps and saying, well, you're the cause, because it's people that are making these crappy decisions to have unprotected sex with people that haven't been tested. Right?
That's true.
Should dating apps be doing more to protect their users?
I think it just seems like they have like so much of a database and a reach to these like very sexually active communities that seems like they are being rather aloof, where they could be making a more like a push for like a campaign to like educate people about sexual health.
So you're like swipe right, swipe left, swipe right, use a condom.
Right. A little pop-up.
And then it's like you must swipe right on use a condom
That's
to
funny.
get to your next match. You know what? Why am I giving away free ideas?
Right.
That was kind of genius.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
They
kinda-
should pay you consulting.
Okay, Tinder, hit me up, okay? That's actually an interesting idea. But I feel like they do have the critical mass of people there. So they could be communicating some of this information, but what's wrong with sex ed in schools, and what are people not teaching their children where they don't know? Like I knew, I grew up and AIDS was a big thing, so it was like, do not have unprotected sex, period, because you could end up with a life-altering disease. But it seems like everyone thinks now you can just pop a pill and get over it. Not true.
Not true. And were you saying, is it their responsibility? I read in the article they said, like, well, go to our sexual health FAQ page and read about. They feel like that's enough. I get it. They want to be cool, hip, sexy, the dating apps, so they don't want like in their marketing and watch out for STDs.
Yeah, but
people have to take care of
their
themselves.
own responsibility.
They do.
And I think if there's enough of an issue and it's like enough of a public health concern, people will police themselves. Because if you get syphilis enough times, you're gonna change your tune. Okay, we're gonna have to take a quick break to cool off from all this. We have so much more. We have your questions in Technically Dating. I have a question from Instagram that came in about the holiday survival skills, and so much more coming up right after this. I'm your host, Damona Hoffman, here with my guest co-host, Jessica Fass, and we'll be back in just a moment. Dates and Mates is sponsored by Damona Hoffman's Relationship Bootcamp. Has your relationship hit a plateau? Do you and your spouse need to get your groove back? Are the pressures of life getting in the way of you and your partner truly connecting? Then Damona Hoffman's Relationship Bootcamp is just the thing you need to get your romance right. This free 1-week e-course is available at the website freerelationshipbootcamp.com. You can get a daily exercise delivered to your inbox that will help you rediscover romance with your mate. You can try new bonding activities, get interesting insights into the way your partner thinks, and crack the code on long-term relationship health. I designed this course myself, and it's been tried and tested time and time again by happy couples who have reignited that spark. And the course is totally free. So just go to freerelationshipbootcamp.com today to sign up. Yep, join me, Damona Hoffman, at freerelationshipbootcamp.com. And I'll get your relationship back on track. Welcome back to Dates and Mates. I'm your host, Damona Hoffman. I was just there on our Facebook page where we live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. You can chat with me live during the show. Post your questions there, and I'll give you a little love. Hi, Andy Wolf. See, I told you to give you a little love.
There you go.
And thanks to all the folks that are listening live there. Leave your comments below. So, Jessica Fass, a Fast Pass to Love, matchmaker extraordinaire.
Thank you.
She's here with me today to answer your questions. There was one that came in on Instagram. I feel like I'm like... I feel like I'm at air traffic control or something, because I have the Facebook, the Instagram questions, and then the whole
we might
show.
have a paradox of the space-time continuum, because we're on every social media platform at once.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be cool if we could just synchronize watches? So I got a question though that came in on Instagram from Cynthia Branch, who you might remember from my TV show #Black Love, not to be confused with Black Love Owns show, but FYI is #Black Love, and apparently she's got a new boo, and she was wondering, what is the etiquette for incorporating a new boyfriend into your family Thanksgiving? So they've been dating for a little while, and she's like, I don't know, do I go to his house? Do I bring him to mine? And she also has kids. Her kids are a little bit older, but she's wondering, is this the right time to bring my significant other in to share the holidays with my children? What do you think, Jessica? What are the rules? What's the checklist? How do you know when the right time is?
Well, I think you just know when you guys are in love and you feel like you want to bring each other into each other's families and lives and hearts. Meeting the family, it's funny. In Israel, it's not as much of a big deal if they see that you're alone in the foreign country and you've only been on 2 dates and there's a holiday coming up or Shabbat dinner. They'll be like, come to my house and meet my 20 cousins. And it's just what you do. It's just helping people. And so I talked to so many girls that they're like, but then I thought he was my boyfriend. He invited me over for Shabbat dinner. And he was being nice. But it's different in America. Like these holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, it means something.
Our Shabbat means something.
Yeah. In America, it's different. And that you don't just bring anybody over, like it's friends coming over. No, it's a big deal. So she needs to, I don't know if her kids have met her significant other yet.
Sounds like not.
If not, well, then first she definitely needs to do a meeting just of them and make sure
pre-meeting.
that it can't be like
She has
everyone
like 4
meeting
days,
there.
Like a week.
They
She
can't
has a
just
week.
all meet for the first time. Her kids, her parents, like that's so overwhelming
Yeah,
for the
that's
guy.
intense.
So I think,
That's the thing that I feel like a lot of people forget. Put yourself in your partner's shoes. And like I said to her on Instagram at Damona Hoffman to make a list of the pros and cons. Like, why are you bringing this person in right now? Is it just to show off and be like, see, I have a boyfriend now. Like, I don't have to answer these questions. Or is it because you really feel like this relationship is headed somewhere and you want to integrate this person's traditions in with your own? And sometimes it's too soon. Like the first holiday, the first Thanksgiving after I met Seth, it just seemed too soon. And we'd been dating maybe 4 or 5 months. 4 months.
And it felt too soon. Interesting.
4 months. It felt too soon.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
And also, our family is across the country, so it was like, I don't know. If I've been dating this guy for 4 months to fly home with him to New York is maybe a little bit too quick, and so we decided to spend the first holiday apart. But then by the next Thanksgiving, I was like, okay, now I'm really a part of this. And I was not uncomfortable. Okay, I was a little bit uncomfortable when his family said, let's take a family photo. Damona, get up there on the stairs. And I was like, but I'm not in the family yet. I've only been dating him for a year and a half. But I took the picture.
Thank goodness it worked out.
I'm still in the family. Some other people who were in the family
Are no
photo.
That's funny.
Surprisingly, it was like the people that I thought were least likely to not be in the photo. Yeah.
That's funny.
But isn't that funny? But
Yeah.
I'm still there. But I think you have to put yourself in your partner's shoes and say, like, is this maybe this is too much for them right now?
And it also depends on the family. Like my family is also very inclusive. Even like we'd invite like friends that didn't have families in the LA area over all the time. And so if the family's like that, maybe it's okay to go. If the family's just like these Israeli families, like come, the more the merrier. But if the family's a little bit more like set in traditions and like formalities and kind of have told their child, I don't want to meet someone you're dating unless you're engaged. Like maybe even ask your family how they feel and then see how you feel. If you're really in love and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this person. I want them to meet everybody I know and love and care about. Great. But if you're not there yet, and like you said, if you have to like fly and that's a big deal, and where are you going to sleep, and then you're a guest in someone's house, it's not just one meal and go home. So if they're local, and first of all, ask and find out who cooks, like, you know, who is doing the bigger meal. You also have to decide which person's house to go to. So make sure you also don't offend your own family. So I just talk to your family. He talks to his, and talk to each other and see, is this the real thing? Should we go for this yet, or maybe next year? You know,
maybe next year. And really, with kids, it's tread lightly, because once you start to create memories for that with them and with this new partner, they're bonding to that person and they're beginning to have a relationship with that person too. And you don't want that person to then be yanked out of their life as well after they've already had their parents split up too. All right, we have some questions that have come into us from the Techspert app. You can download it on the App Store, and you can post your questions there, get crowdsourced advice, and the most provocative questions will end up here on Dates and Mates. So we have a question here. I think you're going to like this one, Jessica. She says, help me think of things to talk about. I've started speaking to a guy, but I'm hopelessly awkward and I need help. Any tips on how to get him to like me or take interest? Just advice on how to get a guy would be helpful. Fingers crossed.
Oh, she did that emoji?
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Is she talking about just texting the guy or talking to him?
No, she's talking about
IRL?
talking to him.
Oh, okay.
So she's really awkward. Her words, not mine. How can she start conversations that make her seem less awkward?
Okay.
And will get him to like her on top of that.
Okay, great. My specialty. Again, like if I'm not sure where she's running into him, at school or is it at social events? But if it's somewhere where, like with a bar, you know, she can say like, oh, I really like this kind of drink, you know, and maybe he buys her a drink. If it's at school, I don't know if she's running to him in the same class, but she can say like, oh, that lesson went way over my head. Like, what about you? What did you think of it?
Help.
Yeah,
and
I
then
need
she
some
drops her
help.
pencil.
Exactly, the equivalent of dropping the handkerchief. And pencils, no one has pencils anymore, right, Damona? Everything's just on your phone.
They still have pencils.
No, they
The
do in
kids
math
still have
class.
pencils.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I have to buy a bunch of pencils for my daughter now.
Oh yeah, and the standardized testing. Yeah, they have to have pencils. So if it's in class, she can ask like to study with him, or what did you think of this lesson, or what do you think of the professor, or just I always say like think. Improv is like the best tool to be better at dating.
yeah,
if you
I
can
use
take,
that.
I'm sure you say that too.
I use
Take an
it with
improv
my
class.
clients. My flirting training involves improv.
So look around your surroundings and think of something that you can comment on. Like even if it's like a funny looking dog or just anything in life that you just saw. Okay, we got another headline, about something crazy. Oh my gosh, did you just see? My phone just texted me this headline. This is crazy. Like there's so many things that you can comment on. So you have to be a little bit funny. That's why improv helps. And laugh at yourself, and then it's endearing. And
be
then
funny, but don't try to be funny.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
Just try to be yourself. And actually, the key principle of improv that I think a lot of people either don't know or forget is it's all about listening and responding. And actually, I've done a little improv training. I know you come from the comedy world too. It's actually really encouraged for you to not go for the joke, but instead go for the truth. And that, I think, is the same principle when you're flirting and getting someone interested in you.
Exactly.
Don't try to make him like you. Just try to be yourself. He's either going to like you or he's not going to like you. And that's okay if he doesn't like you. But if you're not comfortable in your skin, which is what Hopelessly Awkward says to me, that is not going to be attractive ever. Just be confident in the things that make you different and unique. And he might be into some of those
That's
same
right.
things.
That's why I'm saying be quirky, be funny,
quirky.
and then he'll find you endearing.
Yeah, exactly. Or even state the obvious. This is one of my top tips. If something is awkward, own it.
Yes.
And just speak the elephant in the room. Like, it's sort of weird talking to someone when you just think they're really all you can think of is how cute they are and you don't have anything else to say.
Oh, that's
or whatever
cute.
it is.
Wow,
Or
I've never been that bold.
Or even like observing, like I sometimes do mock dates with my clients, and so they're like on a practice date where I'm observing.
Yes, I do too.
And there was this date that I was observing where a woman walked by. I think she was coming out of the salon or something, but she had her hair all in rollers, and she was just strutting down the street like she was walking on the runway. And then she was wearing like a weird outfit, and it was just a weird sight. And I was looking at my client like, I hope they notice that and acknowledge that, because it was like seeing an elephant walk down the street, a pink elephant or whatever, and then you're like, I'm not going to talk about that. Like, you have to acknowledge it. So even just saying like, that was sort of a weird choice to walk out of the house in, was a good way to start the conversation, and my client came through on that in that instance. Okay, so I have another question here. This is from a young lady. She's 18. She says, need advice. I've never done anything for my 2-month boyfriend not to trust me, yet he still goes through my phone randomly. And doesn't want me going out. And he freaks out every time I go over to my brother's because my brother has his guy friends over. I don't know what to do. He's 4 years older than me. And everywhere I go, he tells me to be good. Like I'm doing something wrong. What do you think about this? Okay, so she's 18, so he's like 22-ish. Sounds like he's kind of insecure in this relationship,
insecure,
Jessica.
controlling. Why is he saying be good? Like, why is he being condescending? Has she ever done anything to make...
She says
no, she said
in
she
caps.
Didn't.
She
said I
said,
never... So
never done anything
he's
in caps.
He's
She's yelling it.
insecure or controlling. I would say get out of that relationship. I would say run.
Well, maybe she can address it before she gets out of the relationship and just say, when you say that to me, it makes me feel like you don't trust me.
Yes.
Is there something I've done that makes you not trust me? I like those kind of leading questions.
That is very good, Damona. I do like that. I just like I feel controllingness all about it because like don't go to your brother's house. Like he's jealous of any guy that she looks at. So is that ever going to go away? Like that's just ingrained with him being that kind of person, or is it or there was something she did that maybe she can rectify that maybe she doesn't know. So yeah, start with communication.
Maybe she did do something.
Yeah,
maybe she did do something.
But it just scares me that he's saying be good. Like, is he gonna come after her if she's not good? It sounds like a Lifetime movie. It scares me.
You just went to the darkest place there.
I just don't like what he's been saying. It rubbed me wrong. Like going through her phone, taking her phone, and it's a violation
that's a little
of trust.
invasive.
Investment.
Yeah, I like to make up words on
Yeah.
the show. Invasement. You and your invasement is
That's a good name for
turning
a movie.
me off.
Inface me.
Oh my God, we are coming up with all the ideas today. How about this one? What do you do when your boy, in quotes, a man,
Yeah.
goes after another girl at a party in front of you, but then still texts you like everything's fine?
It's so wrong. It's so rude. It's like, I don't know how old they are, but maybe they're still young and, he still does want to play the field. I mean, because I'm a matchmaker, so I only deal with people that want serious relationships and none of the game playing. And then in my own relationships, too, I've always been treated with the utmost respect. And I mean, that just that disgusts me that he would flirt with another girl right in front of her. So first talk to him about it, but I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's one where I'd be like, I don't like that one.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm sorry.
That one's
To
hard
her.
to redeem. Okay, well, what about this one? How do you know, Jessica Fass, when it's time to break up with your boyfriend?
It's always hard. We have no context on that, right? She just says, "How do I know when
How
it's
do you
time?"
know?
If she doesn't love him, if they don't give each other joy,
How do you define that, though? Because I think some people don't really know how to quantify
like
that.
when they're in love.
Yeah.
If you can't, if you imagine your life, if you close your eyes and you imagine your life better and easier without them, but if you close your eyes and you can't imagine your life without them, then that shows that they're a big part of your life and that you're in love. Again, she gave us no context, or are they fighting all the time? And then what kinds of things are they fighting? Is it values difference? Are they fighting over stupid little things like, oh, you ate the last slice of cheese in the fridge, And
I'll go with are you fighting all the time?
Yeah,
Like that alone is not a healthy relationship, right?
Yeah. And if your life
Yeah.
seems easier without them than with them, then then it's not the right one. If you're also fantasizing about other people, not the right one.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, do we have time for one more quick question?
We have time for one more quick question.
Okay, would you forgive forgive and give your boyfriend or girlfriend a second chance if they cheated on you? If it does it depend on the person they cheated with? What difference would it make if it's a total stranger or being someone you know? I feel like they're asking for a friend, but
Yeah.
I think this
Like
comes
Ray
to us
was
from a
doing at his-
female.
at the
Yeah,
end of
right.
his stint.
Would you forgive your boyfriend and give him a second chance if he cheated on you? And would it make a difference if it was someone that was a stranger or someone that you knew?
I think it hurts so much more if it's someone you know, but I think it's bad either way. It just hurts more if it's because then that person that you can't look at both of them.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a bold statement.
Here we go.
Do
The
it.
second of the show,
The
right?
second of the show.
I used to say cheating is an unforgivable sin, and I don't think there's any way your relationship can really repair after that. I will say now that I've been married 10 years and I have 2 children, I mean, hopefully right now my husband is not cheating on me. I'm not cheating on him.
Knock on wood.
Knock
But
on Micah.
knocking for Micah.
Yeah.
But I feel like depending on the situation, you might have more to lose than to gain from just
Ending it.
breaking just ending.
Yeah. Of course, it depends. At what life you've built with that partner.
Yeah, like if you guys own property together, or if you have a child together, there's other things to consider. So I think you have to look at all of those factors and whether you believe that this person can change and that they will not continue to disrespect you. Mm-hmm. That would be the question.
Yeah, if
for
they're
me.
remorseful and they want to change, for sure, you can work on it.
You can work on it. Well, you can always go to datesandmates.com to submit your question. You can also DM me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Damona Hoffman, or head on over to the Textpert app, which you can get in the App Store, and post your question there. So, folks, every once in a while, something gets under my skin that I have to address with you. Please don't send me hate mail for this one, but y'all, I got to talk in Damona's diatribe about man-hating. Put 60 seconds on the clock. Okay, a couple weeks ago, I did a diatribe about consent. So you know where I stand about unwanted sexual advances. But I feel like the tide is kind of starting to turn to an unhealthy place. Every day I check social media or the news, I seem to read of a different account of some heinous man who did something unthinkable or just plain creepy. And it's kind of impacting my work. And you see, when you're on a witch hunt, you start to see things that you're looking for in places where it might not even exist. Does Hollywood have inappropriate sexual conduct? Yes. Does just about every other industry under the sun have that as well? Yes. And now everyone knows the magnitude of the problem that women have experienced firsthand for decades. Maybe now we can turn our focus towards the men who are respectful and supportive of women. Remember all those guys that were wearing the pussy hats during the Women's March? They're still there. So instead of sharing yet another post about a celebrity's sinister sexual situations, how about sending some love to the guys who are doing right by us? A heart emoji, a thumbs up, or a simple statement that thanks them for making it safe for women would go a long way right now. And I know some of you are going to disagree with me on that, but send me your comments on Facebook. Put them under the video today, and let me know what you think about sending some love to the good guys out there, because they're still around. All right, Jessica, to close out the show, we always do something with our guest called dating ... So I'm going to give you some phrases, and I want you to complete them with the very first thing, rapid fire, that comes into your mind to give people some dating advice to send off the show. You ready?
Okay, ready.
Number 1, blank is always sexy.
Good sense of humor.
Number 2, blank is never sexy.
Being condescending and narcissistic.
Yeah, totally. Number 3, the biggest red flag on a dating profile is...
only having one photo or an obscured face photo.
Oh, so they're like a fake.
So yeah, exactly.
Number 4, the most common first date mistake is?
Oh, talking too much about yourself and not asking any questions.
Oh, yeah, good one. Number 5, the most important quality in a wife is?
Being a soft place to land for her husband, not being a nag. I hear that all the time.
The most important quality in a husband is?
Being a good listener and patient, because us ladies sometimes we go off on tangents.
Yeah, we do, like we have on the show.
Just always listen to her and repeat back what she said, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're the best guy ever."
She thinks that you've heard everything. Yeah, you just have that memory recall. Jessica, I adore you. I'm so glad that you were able to join us on this show. You can find out more about Jessica at fastpasstolove.com. She's also on Facebook at fastpasstolove. And if you're only taking on Jewish singles, right?
Right now, yes, but still come to me and I can refer you to the right matchmaker to work with you if I can't take you on right now. I only work with about 10 to 15 clients at a time, and my company name comes from Fast Pass from Disneyland, so I wanted to point that out. But it's not with a T, it's just FASS, my last name, because we fast track you to love.
Yes, and you have done that for many years, and I'm so excited for the people that are listening to the show that need to find love. They now have you at fastpasstolove.com. You can also check out my Twitter and Instagram at Damona Hoffman. You can see the cute new bracelet that my daughter gave me when I was at my wit's end.
That's
and
so
it
sweet.
says "I love mommy," and I did not even ask her for it. She just gave it to me. You can see lots more there on Instagram, and download the Textpert app to post some questions of your own. Don't forget to hop over to datesandmates.com to get that relationship bootcamp online course. This is your last week to get your hands on it. So pick that up, or if you're single, get the free workbook, The Texting 10 Commandments. Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes, Apple Podcast. If you love the show, tell somebody. It's Thanksgiving, so thanks for listening, and share with those that you love. We'll be off next week for the holiday, but we'll be back on November 30th with Dr. Aisha and my big birthday show. Thanks for listening. Until then, happy dating.